Kyle the Neway from Cruiser Customizing here at California Speed Sports. We're getting the opportunity to test ride and take a look at the brand new Moto Guzzi California 1400.
Yeah.
What do you think about this new bike, Uwe?
I don't know, I've seen pictures of it and it looks really cool, looks really exciting. It's a slick design. Talked to Craig, the owner, on the phone, and he rode it up from Southern California,
Nice.
rode up Highway 1, and he really liked it. It's really torquey motor, and I'm just excited to take it for a spin and see what it's all about.
So having not sat on it as of yet or ridden it, I think it's going to give us a lot of that power and feeling that you get, say, out of the Rocket 3, but at a slightly more fuel economy package.
That's Craig, owner of Speed Sports. What do you say about the Moto Guzzi?
Cool. It's the Italian VMAX.
The Italian VMAX. It has that much power?
90 pounds of torque at 2,700 RPMs.
2,700 RPMs.
2,750 RPMs.
Well, there we have it. So now we're going to go in, we're going to pull the bike out, we're going to get some shots around the bike, we're going to look at some of the neat features that this bike has that other bikes don't, and then we're going to take it out on the road and take it for a spin.
Cool neat features of this bike that we're not going to see on anything else this year or to date.
Now, this is your traditional Moto Guzzi V-twin that they've used historically throughout 90 years of motorcycle manufacturing. So this is a very tried and proven engine over the years, but obviously now been massaged and developed into what it currently has right now. The big difference with this bike is it was designed here in California for the United States market, unlike their other bikes which were designed for the European market. This was designed in California in the Pasadena Art Center for the American market. 1,400 cc's, which makes it the largest European cruiser ever filled with 1,400 cc's. It may not seem big for a lot of our guys, but for them that's a big cruiser. Yeah. Daytime running lights, so technically it's one of the only bikes that we have that don't have to have the headlight on. These are actually legal, so there actually is no headlight. If you want headlights, you can turn headlights on. High beam for projector and standard light for low beam. You have dual channel ABS brakes. It's got Brembo brakes, 320 millimeter calipers or rotors all the way around. It's not a link braking system, which in most people's opinion is good. You have traction control with 3 different levels of intervention, or you can completely turn it off if you want to. Found the best setting to be 1 most of the time. 3 is a little too intrusive. 0 is not enough.
Building cruise control.
Yep. Yeah, press it, hold it for 3 seconds, lights up the green light, which is cruise control. Then when you get to the speed that you want, you just hit it, and then you got cruise control. It'll actually modulate itself. The only thing we can't do is hit a button and resume and go faster. But you can roll on the throttle and roll it back off, and it'll go back to its original set position.
Nice.
So we'll do that. But yes, it is automatic cruise control where it accelerates and decelerates. Yes.
So what's the MSRP on this currently?
This bike is the custom. It retails for $14,990. Touring version is the exact same motorcycle list, except with built-in hard bags, a little bit lower seat height on it, an inch lower than this, and has the built-in windshield. That one is $17,990.
So this V-twin, what characteristics are we going to find from this V-twin that we're not going to find or going to differentiate itself from, say, the Harley V-twin or any of the Japanese V-twins?
This one's going to be all about torque. It's smooth. It's on elastic rubber fasteners for the chassis, so it's not rigidly mounted to it. So there's very, very little, if no vibration to this. You get the historical feel of a Moto Guzzi because you have opposed cylinders, so the bike likes to rock back and forth when you twist the throttle, much like a BMW Boxer bike would do, which is part of the bike's character, there's no doubt. But this motor is not about horsepower, even though it's 92 horsepower. It's really all about torque and very low RPMs. It's a very lazy motor.
That's what cruising is all about.
Correct.
Torque.
Yeah. Something new to me. I'm not used to riding cruisers, so I kind of wanted you to ride it. Yeah, this is new and different for me, no doubt.
I'll be happy to oblige.
So Uwe, after getting a first glance and walking around it, what are your first thoughts or opinions?
I mean, this is a piece of art. I mean, this looks...
It's a retro cruiser.
And for a stock bike, it looks really refined. I mean, it's a great mix of modern and retro. You know, I look at the headlight and I can see kind of the chrome and the retro features, but at the same time it looks very modern, and it is modern with the what do you call the
Projector light.
projector light?
Yeah. Well, obviously it's a very modern bike. We have ride-by-wire in the bike, so we have no throttle cable, so it's all ride-by-wire.
Oh, wow.
This bike has the exact same ECU that Max Biaggi uses in their World Superbike. In terms of
Wow.
computer, it's got the exact same computer in it they use in the RSV4.
Wow.
So there's certainly a lot of technology in the bike between the multiple map modes to it and the ride-by-wire.
So what's the estimated fuel mileage on this?
See, I did about 900 miles on the bike. We were in 30 to 50 mile an hour headwinds, and I wasn't being nice to it. And we averaged about 32 miles to the gallon. It's got a 5.3 gallon gas tank, probably need to find a gas station 150 miles and probably hitchhiking at 170 to 180.
You ready to ride?
Let's do it.
We just hit some straight roads, some twisty roads, some hilly roads, and overall I think that this bike is going to lend itself well to the California market.
Man, I mean, it's a cruiser, it's not a sport bike, but you can surely ride it like a sport bike on a twisty road like this. I had even a tough time keeping up with you, and this bike, it just feels pretty naturally. I mean, for me, because I'm so tall, the handlebars are too much forward, but that's probably true for most riders, and they want to bring the handlebars a little bit further back. You know, nothing you can fix with some simple aftermarket risers.
The one thing I noticed is the motor is so forgiving. If you look at the motor and the transmission and how this thing works, you can completely wind out the gear that you're in, and when you shift into the next gear, it's not like there's a big jump. It's just super smooth transition.
On this bike, you hardly need to shift at all. I had it as we were going through a residential area, and on the way over here, I had it in 5th gear.
It's awesome.
And pretty much from 40-45 miles an hour, you just roll on the throttle and you get that torque. You don't need to wind it out to get the power, you just got the torque.
This bike being a V-twin really doesn't have all of those kind of quirky characteristics that you find from the normal V-twin. I mean, it's just fantastic. The motor is extremely smooth. Like Uwe said, almost as smooth as, say, the Goldwing, which is an Post 6. It's crazy.
And that's for 1400cc. It almost feels like a bigger one. I don't know, you've ridden the big Triumph triple.
The Rocket 3, this has a lot of the torque characteristics that you find in a Rocket 3 with the smoothness that you find in, say, a Goldwing with the torque. It's just unbelievable. This bike is fun to ride. If you have never ridden this type of motor before, I strongly recommend you get to the dealership and take one for a test ride. It's definitely a unique experience.
I never thought I would like that kind of motor sticking out like that. I looked at other Moto Guzzis before, and it just rubbed me the wrong way, but they actually managed to make it almost like a piece of art. I mean,
It's fantastic.
look at this. You can put this in your living room and it looks good. And this is a stock motorcycle without dressing anything up. Handling is good. I think that the shocks did a really fair job, even on our bad California roads. You know, Mainz road in particular has lots of bumps, but it felt pretty well cushioned.
So as far as the shocks go, they are pretty much what you get from an aftermarket shock. So say you bought a standard metric cruiser today and wanted to upgrade those shocks to, say, a progressive with a detached reservoir. These shocks do an amazing job. Probably the best handling suspension I've ever had on a stock cruiser motorcycle.
Braking is phenomenal. The ABS does a wonderful job. I mean, I grab brakes really hard and you don't get like the bub that you get with some of the ABS. Even my Aprilia has that bop bop bop. This one is just, you hear a little bit of chopping in from the tire, and then it stops. It's pretty awesome. But the Brembos, because those disc brakes are pretty big and have the Brembo calipers, those grip really good.
So Uwe, in just a couple sentences, how would you sum up the package we have here sitting in front of us?
I think it's a unique style. It's very definitely a very beautiful looking bike, even stock. I mean, usually you don't have a stock bike look like this. Very refined, retro, at the same time has modern elements. Definitely unique looking with that motor, and I like that motor. I mean, that motor is just torque at 2700 RPM. You get the max torque, so you just put it in 5th gear and you just use the throttle. You don't have to shift much. It's nice to have even a gear indicator, so you even know what gear you're in, because you really don't have to shift much, even in city traffic, which it's pretty cool. I mean, that's what cruising is all about. It's just
Set it and forget it.
Exactly. Give it a little throttle.
The California 1400 from Moto Guzzi. If you're looking for a cruiser motorcycle and you want something that feels a little more refined than the average V-twin, lots and lots of torque, similar to say a Valkyrie or a Goldwing or a Triumph Rocket, this is definitely something that might pique your interest once you take it for a ride out on the open road.
So yeah, you definitely gotta test ride it to experience what it's all about.